Hello everyone, this is Carlos again with Biasa. I'm at JPEG in Romania and I'm with Miia Toivola. So is that correct?
That's correct.
Nice. Well, she's the head of international growth at DevShop, which is it's a e-commerce player, now actually e-commerce offline player as well. From Germany, they are one of the leading companies in street fashion wear. So Miia, thank you very much for the opportunity. I wanted to have this chat with you because we spoke a lot yesterday about some of the challenges on, going cross borders, and I think you shared some very interesting stuff when it comes to cross-border trade. So, start with the big picture. Tell us who you are and what are you actually doing.
Yeah, so my name is Miia, and I'm working at DevShop as an international growth manager, and I've been at DevShop for 3.5 years now. So when I joined the company, I was first responsible for Finland only. So that's the country where I'm coming from. And after we saw the success in the Finnish market, we decided to expand to Sweden and Denmark. So now I'm responsible of the Nordic team and then of the new markets we're going to enter in the future.
So it's the URL is devshop.com.
Yes.
Right.
That's the German.
Yeah. How many orders do you guys have today on a daily basis, like the whole group?
Yeah, okay, of course it depends, like if we have a special sale happening or something, but I would say that it's around 3,500 orders.
3.5K,
yeah.
4K, interesting. And that's I want to jump in about, how do you go about finding new opportunities in new markets, because it's usually the discussion of the chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
And you were sharing some really interesting ways on, like activity that you notice, especially coming from a country. So can you comment on those? How do you go to a new market?
So well, often we have cases, so when we decide that, okay, like let's start with this market, we see that we're already getting sales from the market without doing any marketing activities or even without having a local solutions when it comes to payments or logistics. So then for us it's a sign that, okay, like people are already shopping on our site even though we're not local or like we're not localized for them yet. Okay. But then like when we're talking about countries like where we don't get any orders yet, for us it's of course like first we will start that we will analyze how is the e-commerce in general doing in the specific market. So what's the role of the e-commerce, and then how does the market look like from fashion perspective? So would our style fit there, because DevShop is streetwear and sportwear.
And then I want to jump in and understand, is there like a minimum value, let's say a minimum amount of orders a day for you to say this is an interesting market? 10 orders, 20 orders, it's
no, that doesn't matter, because of course we're always like thinking, okay, that the number will increase. So we have like some markets in our mind that we're not doing sales, not even on daily basis, but we see that, hey, that this is a strong e-commerce market, so we should go there as well.
Nice.
So
in which countries are you currently operating today?
So, of course, the DACH region, that's the biggest market for us. Then comes Netherlands, Finland, France. These are like the oldest and the biggest markets for us. But then from the new markets, Sweden, Denmark, and Belgium are performing very well.
I wanted to talk about the challenges of going abroad, because I think in the audience we have a lot of people who are very romantic about I want to go abroad and so on. What are the real challenges? Yesterday you shared some really interesting use cases, like I have to start in Scandinavia, payment methods and the expectations that you have versus what you expect and what doesn't happen. And can you comment on some of the challenges that you actually you've been facing, but
so for us
and how you tackle those challenges?
So when it takes longer than we thought to get the local solution. So for example, we open a new market and we see that, okay, we need these payment methods that customers will convert. But then when we see that, okay, it's not happening that fast, there can be a lot of issues.
For
why
example,
it takes
the payment solution, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for us, it's challenging that then we can't do as much as we would like to, because of course we don't want to get a lot of traffic on a site that we know that okay, it's not completely done yet. So that's definitely something which is slowing down. Then of course, because for us, when we open a new market, it means that we hire a local person, and sometimes recruiting can be also challenging. So we're based in Berlin, and
Berlin, it's like a very interesting place for finding talent, and even so, you find it can be a challenge.
Yeah, finding talent and then also keeping the talent there.
Okay.
So city like Berlin, it's the job market is
Everybody
it's
is
very,
sexy, right? Like there's a
so
job.
that's the thing. And of course, like when we are hiring people outside of Berlin, like in the recruiting process, I always tell the applicants that you have to understand that it's not only the new job you're going to get, your whole life will change, like when you will come here to work for us. And yeah.
Interesting. What I thought that was very interesting and something that I'm curious about is because like you are in the DACH region, 4 countries, right? Plus you mentioned that you're going to talk about this, in the what's next, but you're opening new operations as well. So when it comes to the marketing side, and promoting locally, devshop.com, how do you guys go about this? Do you find local influencers? Because I think it's really interesting. So, for example, if you're in Portugal, you find Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, to collaborate, right? And he has a presence in Portugal and Spain. Who knows? But how do you go about, finding influencers? Because I remember you mentioned something about influencers.
Yeah, that is really important to us. So especially because our target group is young. So influencers are playing a big role, but for some markets we are using influencer networks, or like then the local person, so the country manager has to be aware like what's happening in the market and find the talents. But we're also very lucky that often influencers are coming to us that hey, I would like to cooperate with you, and it's even from some countries where we are not operating yet. Like of course, like we have worldwide shipping and.
You described something very interesting, that every time a country manager joins the organization, they have to sort of follow some guidelines, and yet localize those guidelines to the local culture, right?
Yeah. So of course, it's a very big process. So when the country manager starts, so first we will start that the person will go through the site and translate everything, and then comes the localization part, that the person has to check that which payment methods we need, what kind of logistics, or like are there some other major things missing from the site that the customers from the specific country are normally used to have on online shop. But then for like marketing, so the country manager takes over all the marketing channels in support of heads of channels, and we have created very specific training plan. So it's not that the person gets like all the 10 channels at the same time. It's more like step by step.
Learning on the go.
Yeah.
Nice. Just to wrap up, what's next for Miia and devshop.com?
Yeah, so for DevShop, we're going to open new markets this year. Okay, so I can already tell that Spain and Italy are going to be the next ones. And DevShop, so we're also, as you mentioned, that we have offline stores as well. So actually last week we opened our first store outside of Berlin. So in Berlin we have 4 physical stores, and 2 weeks ago we opened store in Cologne.
All right, so
and maybe that's also, it could be a topic in the future, that maybe we want to try that out in international markets as well.
Awesome.
And maybe like first we would try out with a little pop-up shop and see how that works. But yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.